of families closing their eyes. We're taking communion and passing the offering, head around at the same time.
But I'm here today to review a new plane that's on the market. It's out by Tom Seiler. It's being carried by Skip Miller at Skip Miller Models, skipmillermodels.com. I am a sponsored pilot for Skip, but more along the lines, I really enjoy this airplane and wanted to talk about it. I've had a whole lot of people send me PMs on the groups. As most of you know, if you do know me, I've been flying the Polaris for a little over a year now. Paul Crittenden and I had our 1 year anniversary with that plane. And again, awesome plane, not necessarily going away from it. I'm getting a lot of PMs, you know, is this your plane? Are you going with the Freak, the Super Freak? Is that what you're going to be flying? I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be flying this season. But I do like change, and I like to try new things, which is kind of what led me into the Polaris. I saw that Tom was, going to a solid core wing, which I personally prefer. Everybody's got their own opinion, and they're entitled to that. Although I find that the solid core wing, super stiff, which is what I really like. I think it's great for, high launchers, being able to repair them. I've repaired all different types of wings, hollow molded, bagged. I've never really owned a bag, but I've done some repairs on some bag wings for some friends, and I just find that the solid core molded is what I'm looking for in an airplane. Personal preference again. So what I want to do is I want to talk about my electronics install, likes, dislikes, so on and so forth, and kind of clear up some of the questions. I thought I would do it on video because, well, I like editing video, and I was bored, and it's Sunday, so I need something to do. So, this is how it's going to break down. This is the Super Freak. I think that's how he says it. Might be wrong. Super Freak made by Tom Seiler, being carried by Skip Miller Models. I did notice that Skip had it on his website the other day, which is cool. But this is the Freak. Solid core, stiff as can be. Love it. Good plane. One of the things I did want to talk about with this plane is the craftsmanship and the quality of Tom's work. I can't say enough about it. Super, super nice, super clean, smooth airfoil, clean work. Now this is one of the pre-production planes that Tom sent out to a couple of us. And I've been flying it for, I guess, well, I got it right before the gym and built it the week of the gym. And super solid, easy to build plane. I like it a lot. This is not the Roacell version. I believe Tom is coming out with the Roacell version. But I think this is XPS, if I remember properly, which is fine. This version, takes CA, no problem. Everything. In fact, I built the whole plane with CA, except for the repairs, obviously. It's a top drive setup on this wing. Super stiff, super solid. Tom hit the nail on the head with the way he's doing the flaperons here. He's cutting the flaperons. It looks like it's about 3/16 of an inch back, quarter inch back, separating it and putting in some glass on the vertical, which is giving just a super stiff flaperon. I was a little worried about fluttering this plane when I first got it, just because it's a full length flapper on. There's a lot of surface, but I ended up no problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. The fuselage, I actually like the fuselage a lot. There's one thing that if I could ask for, I would love to have a little more space up front. It's relatively narrow. I think you could get JR285 servos in here, which is my preferred servo, but man, would it be tight. Let me tell you, it would be super tight as far as that goes. I ended up going with DS188s, JR DS188s in the fuse, mostly because of space. And then in the wing here, June, you'll love this, servo pockets. I ended up, and Tom actually pre-routes the servo pocket for you, and it has these nice little covers, which are awesome, and a little recess for that cover to sit in. Tom he hit the tail surfaces just right on this plane. Very responsive, just enough rudder surface area. The vertical has enough area to where the plane's not kicking real hard on launch. So I like the tail setup on this particular plane. His control horns on the wing I actually like a lot, on the flaps. I do like them a lot, mostly because of the way he's got them designed. The ones here on the flaperon I like mostly because, well, they sit back behind that, I guess, that vertical spar that he's put in there, that drag spar. They really made in nice. They cut back behind it, so you're not, impeding on that spar and losing any of its integrity. So they've worked really, really well. A little bulky. They look a little bulky, but it's all about function. I can't see them when it's in the air. It doesn't matter to me. I actually went push rod on this. I went push rod. I think I went with 025 with etched Teflon tubing that I've had sitting around, or somebody gave me from another build, whatever. But I went push rod on this one, and super, super tight, super stiff. I can't say enough about how the plane's set up. It really worked out really well. So the pylon is actually not part of the mold, which is cool. I like that a lot. Next one I get, which I'll probably be getting another one from Tom, I will do a bottom mount with pull string. I used the push rods mostly because I had it on hand and I was going with a rudder, and I just don't know if I like pull string on a rudder, so I kind of went away from what I really like. The thing runs like nobody's business. I can stick this plane way, way, way out there, way beyond my comfort zone, and let me tell you, it'll come home. That's one of the things that I do like about it the most. Obviously, timing's a big issue there, and you're not going to just depend, you're not going to be 10 feet off the ground, a half mile away, and it's going to run home. It's not going to work that way, but it will come home. It moves really well in the wind. I've run no ballast in it whatsoever. Properly trimmed, this thing, it does the job. It loves camber. I mean, absolutely loves camber. I've never run as much camber on any plane that I've owned, be it Twister, Stovall, the Polaris. So much camber on this plane, and it just eats it up. To a point, obviously, you get enough camber, it becomes draggy, and the plane just stalls out and basically flies horribly. Launch. Big thing a lot of people have been asking about. How does it launch? And then, quite frankly, it doesn't launch as high as I can launch my Polaris. But with that said, when you get up into that, at least this is my opinion, I'm sure other people's are going to vary. When you get up into that 200 foot mark, another 10 feet, great. That's awesome. But if you're a skilled pilot and a good pilot, you don't need that extra 10 feet. In certain conditions, yeah, you do need it. But as far as I'm concerned, that 10 feet or whatever I am losing on it, and it's visually, it just doesn't look as high and doesn't feel like it's going as high. I don't think it's going to hurt me at all. I flew this plane at the gym a couple weeks ago. I flew it all but 2 rounds, and quite frankly, the only reason that I I didn't fly it in those other 2 rounds was I wanted to fly my Polaris. I wanted to fly something I was comfortable with. But together we took a 4th on our first competition out against some seriously good pilots. I'm completely happy with that. Absolutely no problem. Do I think I could have done better with the Polaris? No, I don't. It's just one of those things. Luck of the draw. You end up where you are. Skill does play into that, but it served me well. Is what I'm trying to get at. But I've moved now. I'm in that 75, 76 range, and seems to be flying really well. You probably hear a little bit of the wind whipping around today. It's on and off, anywhere from 4 to 10 miles an hour, and I have absolutely no problem moving around. So that's where I'm at as far as CG. I think Tom recommends 78, 76, somewhere in that area. I'm still running a bit of reverse differential. I'm running about 10 millimeters up, about 15, maybe a little bit more down. I don't really measure. I just throw it up there and go with it until it feels right. But yeah, it's something along those lines. Hope you can see it. And then rudder. I'm not running a whole lot of rudder on this plane. It's really all the deflection I'm getting out of it. Okay, elevator. Lots of up for me. That's just my personal preference, and enough down. I actually, one thing that I'd probably call it a mistake if you wanted, my control horns are a little short on this, and I'll probably go ahead and remove those servos and try to get a little more throw out of the elevator. If I had a little more down, it'd be a little easier to roll over the top on launch. But as it is right now, it flies great. No worries whatsoever. So that's pretty much all I really needed to talk about with the plane. I think it's time to do some flying. Thank you.
Bought my ticket just the same.